back. We are back for another Max Revs Sunday Lockdown Special. This is awesome. You know what? I'm great to see you guys there. Let me know in the chat if everything's working with the audio and the camera, because I haven't done this for a while. It's so good. I didn't realise how much I missed this. I hope you missed this all. You know what? We have got a couple of special guests. We've got Boris, our race driver here. He's obviously got a 718 GT4 Cayman. There's a lot of great stuff to bring you. And we've got some guests that I'm going to try and bring on to the end of this. So stay tuned about an hour into this schedule. I've missed you guys so much. I hope you've kind of like... I know I've got some comments from all you guys all over the world. Yes, it's good. Thank you very much for letting me know on the comments below. Let's bring Boris into the picture. I want Boris to quickly say hello. So there we go. Boris, how are you doing, man?
Fine, thank you. And just to address some of your viewers right now, I'm never late. I'm never late.
I did see somebody say
Listen, I was here 20 minutes ago, and Max can confirm that. So
that is correct. That is definitely correct. Now, before we get started with our guest, Boris, who has a 718 GT4 Cayman, let's just roll it back a bit, because obviously Boris is a professional racing driver from Porsche. It's obviously the latest generation and the best in terms of track performance. Let's roll it back a little bit if we can, please. The Cayman started with the 987 Gen 1, okay? Now, if someone can let me know on the live stream comments below, who was the guy that penned the design for the first Cayman? And I'm looking at the live stream comments now. I want someone on the live stream to tell me who designed the exterior of the Porsche Cayman Gen 1. And I'll be so upset if you guys don't know his name. Who was the guy that designed the Cayman? Come on, I'm looking at the comments. I haven't seen the answer yet. Someone's got to do this. Julian, I can see you there. Who designed the exterior of the Porsche Cayman 987 Gen 1? And if I don't see this quick enough, I'm just going to have to bring on... There you go! MG Drive! MG Drive is great. I'm going to bring on our special surprise guest. Not only have we got Boris, I'm going to quickly switch over... Mr. Pinky Lai! Everybody, we have Pinky Lai. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing, Pinky?
Great. Nice to see you again, yeah.
Oh, it's so great that you could be here on such a special occasion. I can see the comments kind of going crazy now. I think there might be a delay when they type and when I see this. So we were just talking. Boris has obviously got the 718 GT4. We just kind of briefly touched on it. I know your time is very limited here. We've only got you for a few minutes. But can you maybe tell me, like, you were saying something like 20-odd years ago, this time you were discussing, let's design the Cayman, yeah?
Yeah, around about this time of the year, 20 years ago, and I got a visit from some senior management from the marketing, you know, telling me about, you know, they are expecting some kind of down curve of the Boxster sales, sort of the first generation, a year after it was launched to the market, and they were kind of predicting some, you know, the downward curve of the sales of Boxster alone, and asking, or just started a conversation about, you know, what can we do, what can we think of, you know, to help boost the numbers of the Boxster model line. And so we started, you know, with brainstorming design-wise and come up with several ideas. And it took us a couple of weeks, and then we met up again, and then we have to really cut down to the core of the message. Hey, if we want to convince the management to, you know, put up a budget to build a car, then it has to be this and this and this. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. But the time was so short. We have to really. Originally, they were thinking of some photo or image or whatever, you know, and 2D work. But I said no. You know, a job like that, you have to show a see-through model.
Yeah, because I remember you said on our previous live stream, yeah,
impact about an idea. Yeah,
you were bringing your cutting edge kind of 3D AutoCAD kind of design, and they would still work with clay models.
I was so hot at that time on that. In fact, I was the only one using the only two workstation and nobody was touching it. And I was the one crazy enough to, go full all in into that new media.
That's fantastic. Well, all I can say is, as a 987 owner, and I know many on the channel, I know some names there that own 981s, Boris has a 718, we all thank you for the work that you started off back in the days, okay? And I know, you know what, if there's lots of questions you may want to ask Pinky Lai, put them into the live stream, comment on this video. Maybe we can try and get Pinky back again, because I did not want to disturb his evening. So this was actually completely unplanned. I got so excited. I'm like, I'm just going to reach out to him and see if we can see him. And he was like, yeah, I can say hello for a couple of minutes. So, I salute you. You are an ex-Porsche employee. Obviously, Boris is a current employee with Porsche Motorsport. So I just wanted to try to bring the theme together where you kind of like started the journey and you're kind of handing the baton over to the next generation who just take this work forward. So I think the whole community, I'm sure they're all going to agree with me. We owe a lot to Pinky Lai for designing those curves to start with. We'll talk to Boris shortly in terms of who prefers the best lines. It's a very subjective thing. I have the 987. I love my car. Thank you. So Mr. Pinky Lai, if there's anything you'd like to say to our audience before I have to let you go, if you've got questions, put them down. I'll see if we can get Pinky again at another time. But listen, 20 years ago, you basically created the inception of the cars that we know and love today. So thank you.
Oh yeah, I think that the latest and the newest is always fantastic, and then all the advancement and everything really stack up with the time. But I still think the first baby is always the frame, never diminish, and it's always there.
You sound like my wife. So our youngest child, even when he does something wrong, my wife will go, "Oh no, but it's okay." Blah, blah. Like, it's a very special place the first Cayman has in your heart and in my heart too. So I understand what you're saying. Maybe if we can get you on again.
Very different story, very different life at that time, and hardship and everything, a big struggle and financially and everything.
Got you. Well, listen, I know we've kind of gone over your time, so apologies for that. So, Mr. Pinky Lai, thank you so much for your time, and maybe we can kind of like see from you again. I'm going to kind of move on to Boris now, so you're welcome to watch on YouTube if you've have it there, but otherwise, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Pinky Lai.
Always send me the link and then let me know. Maybe we can do something a little bit more next time.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Thank you, Mr. Pinky Lai. Have a good evening, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
Oh, there we go. So now we're back in the frame. That was just the warm-up. And the reason I wanted to do that is that we've got Boris now. Before we get into the video, a lot of time's gone since we started our live streams. The 718 GT4 has really, really grown on me. And obviously I have the 987, and I wanted to try to bridge that gap between where we are now. And I think every Cayman generation is absolutely awesome. So kind of, Boris, I'm going to stop talking now. I'm kind of too excited myself. So in case you don't know from the comments and the videos we've done before, from the previous live stream that we've done with Boris, certain things have changed. Boris, what have you now got in your garage that you didn't have before when we did the live stream?
Yeah, first of all, I don't know what to do with my hands, Like, should I go this, like this?
There's a wine glass over there.
Yeah, no worries. First of all, oh yeah, I got my wine glass. So Sunday evening, no work. Cheers, Max. So yeah, anyway, first of all, I'd like to say, everyone, thank you. Thanks, Pinky, coming in. It was a real pleasure to listen to him, I could sit here all night and just listen to this person. He's amazing. And thanks everyone who's joining us tonight. And yeah, I mean, we can start with what, Max? The garage, yeah? What changed?
Oh yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, before we go into this, I completely forgot my whole intro. Like, I don't plan these things that much, believe it or not. So, first of all, compared to the previous live streams, it was kind of like more of an interview between me and my guest. I want to make these live streams very, very interactive. So please ask all your comments on the kind of live stream chat that we've got over there. Just prefix all your questions with a QQQ. I know there's quite a bit of banter that goes on between you guys. So if you want to talk amongst yourselves, that's great. If you've got a question for Boris or either myself, can you prefix it with QQQ so at least we can visually look at it and basically see what the questions are? I want this to be very interactive. So unlike the previous live streams, which are quite me and the guest engaging, I want to engage more with you, the participants here, and make this very interactive. So this is almost as much as your show as it is our show. So coming back to you now, Boris. Lots of questions for Boris. Yeah, please tell us about the fact that you race GT3s for a living and you didn't buy a 911. You bought a Cayman, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's what changed in the garage. Cayman came. So, I mean, listen. What all the time, you know, like when you think what would you have, you had everything, you know. Like every person, you want a 911, you want a GT4, you want Ferraris, you want Lamborghinis, you want whatever, you know, your mind crossed to. But it's a different thing when you're faced with something on a regular basis, and then you have the opportunity to try all of these cars, you know, and see what actually suits you in a way, you know. Like not only to have in your garage, because the big misconception of most of the people is like, what would I have in my garage, you know? And you can go infinite there. You can go like, I need this, I need that, I would like to have this, like to have that, but like what makes you happy, you know? What makes you happy every day? If you go to a supermarket, if you go to a gas station, if you go to check your tire pressures, or if you go like me for a 3,000 kilometer, you know, like a road trip, just to drive the GT4, and you know, it all comes down like, what are you in all this wishes that we all have. So for me, there was no limit at the point to get something that I can or I wish to do.
As in, when you say no limit, you could have purchased a 911 like
No, yeah, I could go there and ask for a GT3 RS or whatever at that point. But I was not even thinking there, you know. I've driven so many of these cars on the racetracks, on the roads, and I have friends who owe them, you know. So I'm able to drive all those cars, but nothing makes me happy more when I'm back in my car. And I mean, in a GT4, and that was it. You know, it needs to be my car, and that's it.
That's amazing. Can you maybe, like, obviously it's a very personal thing for each individual, but what is it that is it because you're a race driver? Like, I know a lot of guys on this channel who are not race drivers, who it's more the emotional connection, the smaller package, the mid-engine layout. What is it that makes the GT4 so special for you? Is it you know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but just, you know, if you can tell us in your own words.
Yeah. First of all, when you have emotion towards something, you should also have a brain towards something. So it's like, I mean, if you have emotion towards the car that you will drive once a week, or if you have an emotion like, this is my dream car, I will have it. I mean, it's really nice if it's your third car or your fourth car and you're in a position to have so many cars. But in a way where you're like, I want this car and that's it. That's it. Winter, summer, mountains, roads, I need to travel somewhere, I need to go to work, I need to do this. That's it.
So this leads on to a very good question. I kind of printed them out here. I think it was like Steve Rickman asked us, do you think the GT4 can be a daily driver car? I mean, clearly that's what you're using.
No. He asked, do I feel?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that question from the YouTube. So he asked, do I feel? I don't feel, I just do things, because I would not be here to telling you what I feel. I'm telling you all the time what I did and what I do, and that's it. You know, what I feel doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
That's cool.
So is it a daily car? For me, yes. And it will always be daily car, race car, track car, every single thing you can imagine. I put 8,000 kilometers on my car. From those 8,000 kilometers, at least.
Sorry, Boris. How many kilometers have you done on the GT4 so far?
8,000.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So what have you been doing?
No, but that's the whole point.
But you've only had the car for a few months, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, that's what is car for, you know? It's not like a garage queen that I need to polish and whatever, you know, do some things. And then like guys ask me, oh, you have a black rims, you know, I would choose the gold one or the silver one, go classic. If you want classic, you go buy classic car, you know?
I
want my black rims.
Yeah.
I want my black rims because if I do 2,000 kilometers, it still looks black, although it's dirty as hell. So I need to clean it, again. But for me, my car, they did 8,000 kilometers going. I went, let's say, all like Europe main roads, like Germany, Austria, the whole Balkans, the Italy, Switzerland, France, here in Luxembourg. So I went for a road trip, like I just go 1,500 kilometer, and that's about the whole thing, the whole experience. Someone says like a car, and you don't have to think about the car. Oh, I have this car, now I'm happy. No, you're not. If you're not, if you're not in the Austrian Alps, being in a nice place there doesn't have to be a fancy hotel. It can be a hostel if you want. It can be a camp, But if you go there to Austrian Alps, then you drive all these passes, drive all these nice roads. Then you go to Slovenia, which is beautiful, Croatia, seaside roads, That's what the car is for. And then you go to a racetrack, same as me. So
if I ever arrange a European road trip, can you help us be a guide in the Alps, okay? And I'll bring the guys in the cars, because 8,000 kilometers. I know there's a guy on the chat channel right now. He's in the UK and he has a 718 GT4. But I think the UK market is a little bit different, where some people would be scared to put the mileage on, because I know someone looking to sell a GT4 shortly with 6,000 miles on the clock, and dealerships say to him, "Oh, it's very high mileage." You go, 6,000 miles in 1 year, that's nothing, But like
high
the UK,
mileage.
The UK market is a bit weird. I'm not
listen, sure. If I want to buy the second hand, okay, I want to buy it from someone who actually know what he's doing, and this person drives a car, runs in the engine properly, drives a car everywhere, blah blah blah, takes it to a service, to the Porsche center, they finish the job, they get them the car back, the tire pressures are always okay, and so on, so on, and so on. Do you think I would go and buy a 2-year-old car which has like a 500 miles on it? I mean, you understand, it's completely crazy. I mean, what is this car for? For my bedroom or my garage? Just to see there, so my friends can come and I show them, oh, this is my car. I don't care about my, I care about myself. I take a key, I start the car, and I'm off. And I'm,
I think it's something that even like my Porsche mechanics used to say, that a car sitting still is not good in terms of like the rubber, the components. That you want the car moving, you want air going over the car, you want lubrication, and all that good stuff. So actually, you mentioned you've done 8,000 kilometers so far. That leads on to someone else's question, which was like, did you run the engine in? So was part of the reason to build up some mileage, was it to basically run the engine in and treat it nicely before you gave it some juice?
Of course. I mean, this is no-brainer. This is not like the people taking this as a...
You say it's a no-brainer. There are some people that think the engines do not need to be run in, though.
I don't care what they think for their money. I mean, if it's fine, they can slam it off from zero. I don't care. The whole point is that, I mean, there are components in the engine. It's not like running in the engine. It's the whole car, You got expensive suspension, you got expensive brakes. I mean, the brake system, like whole. You have the chassis, you have the the mounts of the engine and the gearbox in the car, which, for example, in 718 they're active, so which is more complicated than like a simple car. And then you need to run in the car. You need to drive in the car until the point that every component feels fine, in your way of driving. So if you have a user manual which is written by someone who's earning the salary, okay, and there are engineers, there are people who build this car, then I don't see why wouldn't you follow that?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't checked my own owner's handbook recently, but obviously the GT4 handbook, is there a section in there that says run the engine in before you go crazy?
Yes. Okay. Yes, there actually is. It's printed. So, and you get it for free, which is amazing, right? So you don't have to pay for wisdom.
Yeah. Well, I think we've got some people agreeing with you. I know Andy, my man, you've got a GT4 and he's basically doing the same thing. So, I think it's just like, it's down to individual preferences. Some people don't believe in this stuff, but like, if it was me, trust me, if I had a GT4, I'd probably put on I'd change the oil. I'd probably change the oil after 2,000 miles as well.
Listen, I also, I drive motorcycles and I drive cars and whatever. So you will never find me as a professional race driver and as an engineer. who will come and say, oh, I need to put down the tire pressures. Oh, I need to build up the tire pressures, put more pressure here and there. I don't do it, Max. It's the road car, it's the road tire. Everything is inside the optimum which someone spec'd for you. So you don't have to be smart. There is nothing to be smart. You are not patient for 1,000 kilometers for 1.5 or whatever you call it. I mean, it's fine. If it's your money, I'm good. I support you. Go. Just flat out.
Yeah. Actually, I tell you what. I mean, the questions are coming in. I know there's been a whole bunch, but I'll definitely come back to everyone that's QQQ marked their question. Mark FD has just basically said, can you describe how long you ran the car in and kind of what was your process?
I ran in the car for 6 days. It was 1,000 kilometers in 6 days I did. Okay. So as soon as I got the car, the most important thing about any new car, any new engine, is that you can go over the revs, which are prescribed, but for a very short amount of time, because you need to do the low revs, the mid revs, the high revs, but very briefly, okay? So the most important thing, even before that, is when you start the cold car, is to drive the car to warm up. When the car is at optimum and the oil is warmed up and the water is, the liquid, let's call it liquid, not water, but whatever, is warmed up, then you can turn the car off. So the people running to a supermarket for 2 kilometers, it's not enough. So every time I started my car, I did 150 kilometers, right? But like if you want to run in the car, the main point you should look at is when you start the car, don't turn it off until everything is warm. What I mean everything, I mean the components inside the engine and the gearbox. And that's it. Maybe you do it in, 5-6 miles or 10 kilometers if it's a hot day, or you do it in 20, but whatever. Just turn it off when everything is warmed up and you'll be fine, cool. Okay? And don't keep your revs in some crazy, range where you can overheat, because the whole point is to seal the cylinder. I don't even know what's the name in English, but whatever. Like, the piston to the
rings.
Piston ring to the cylinder, and to do this in a most optimal way for your car as prescribed by the manual. Someone else did it for you, and it's free. You didn't pay for it. It's free.
You know what, we're talking about your car. I'm going to bring up some pictures of your car. So I've kind of got them in no particular order. So I'm going to bring up pictures that will come onto the screen. This is the car, as you can see. It's in white. It's obviously kind of kept it quite clean. Love the number plate. I've got to say, I do love the number plate. And let's just see if we can get a few more shots of the car. That's a shot from the rear. I have to admit, just looking at that picture, I do like the exhausts that exit in the centre of the car, but obviously that's how they have to be for aero. So I was just wondering, can we maybe talk about some of the options on your car? Because obviously I've seen the external pictures of your car, but I don't know the specific spec. So can you maybe talk us through the spec of your car and how you optioned it?
Yeah, of course I can do. There is a secret drawer here. Look at this, Max. I got this ready for you, okay?
Excellent. Wow.
I'll just read you. I don't want to be smart, saying it's this and that or whatever. So, yeah. Okay, so here we go. What do you want to know? You want to know the options?
I'd like to know the options that you chose, but in the order of significance. So for me, like whether it's brakes or seats or something like that.
Then I don't need this.
Okay. So tell me in order of what was important to you. You've got the base GT4.
Yeah.
What were the options that were, you chose in order?
Okay, so in order, for me, it needed to be white. That's it.
Okay.
So white car, black rims. That was the second, most important thing. So white car, black wheels. Why? I can go until tomorrow. Why white? Because it's the best looking color in person. My personal preference. And it's very easy for spare parts. You get the spare parts in white. So simple,
I've never thought about it. So if you were to say buy a spoiler or buy, does it come painted in white?
Yeah, it just comes there. You just unwrap it and put it there. Done. So no painting, no paint shop, no, you need to wait like 4 months or whatever. No, you just buy the part, click it in, done. So black rims, first of all, because I really like it it's a contrast on the white color, and they are big enough so you actually do see them. So it's not like a black caps in the car. And also because of the dirt, you you just drive 10 kilometers and the wheels are dirty from brake dust, from everything. So, car looks better if you wash it when you need to wash it.
You mentioned brake dust, so you're running steel brakes.
Of course, yeah. Of
Not
course,
the
I
carbon.
don't even.
Okay.
No,
So
no,
some
no.
of the people go ceramic brakes because obviously it's less dust, and being a race driver, you've gone for the steels. Could you maybe expand upon that?
I don't know any. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I personally never saw a race car in my life with anything but steels. So in 16 years, I never saw carbon ceramics on a race car.
Wow. So
Ever.
do you have
If
any?
someone knows which car has a carbon ceramics, let me know in the comments. But I don't know.
See, I mean, I'm not an expert here, but I'm thinking maybe Ferrari were the first people that introduced the carbon ceramics on the road cars. But
I don't know, but I'm talking about the race cars.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They just don't have it. That's it.
Wow. There you go.
So I mean, and the different thing is like for a GT4, you need to spend around 22,500 euro to change your discs and pads. So I don't know if you want to go and what he says in the Super Cup is a steel brake. Okay. Don't talk about it. It's a steel brake and it's a PFC brake discs. In a Super Cup, in a Carrera Cup Germany, who says this? Carlos Rivas. Carlos, go away from the. Yeah. So anyway, Carlos is a friend of mine, and I love him so much. And he's a Carrera Cup Germany champion. So
seeing as he's your friend, I'm going to put his question up on the screen. Would you consider buying the car in pink? I thought he was pranking you, so I didn't put it up.
No, he's not. He's completely right. And he says when they were doing with these, they changed it after 2015 when the Cup cars 991.1 came in. They changed it to steels, and that's it.
Okay.
I mean, he's running the steel brake, so.
That's very. So it's almost making me think that the manufacturers optioned the carbon ceramic brake discs as just as maybe a way of making more money from the customers because. You could argue it's not. So I know some people have got this. I don't think he's joined us here tonight, but he's got carbon ceramics in his 718 GT4, and he told me when it's wet weather on the motorway, you have to pump the brakes beforehand because if you try to brake when you need it, it won't work.
I mean, they just need to be worn to work to have optimum performance, which is really nice. And I mean, but it's for me it was no brainer having the steels. My brakes work perfectly, and I was on a racetrack, and I behave according to how should I behave with the steels on a road car, because we're talking about the road car, and everything was fine. So I don't need 20,000 plus euro pound brakes on my car just to have yellow calipers for parking, in front of the grocery store so everyone can see. So,
You mentioned the color yellow. There's a picture of a Cayman that you sent me, which I'll bring up on screen in a moment, and it's a yellow
anyway,
Cayman.
Carlos asked me would I drive the pink one.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
he was purple one.
There you go.
GT4 RS, the purple one, maybe. I don't know.
You know what? Before I
lose with the black glasses, so no one can see me.
Before I lose all the comments, I want to quickly dip into the comment stream now and dip into some questions that people have asked us live. So I'm scrolling for the first QQQ. We may have covered this. Tim Green, what fundamental options did you spec? So I think we kind of covered that, but fundamental to you was white, yeah?
Yeah, it was white. It was black wheels. It was steel brakes, which for me was a no-brainer. Okay. I took the PDLS Plus lights because they're really nice and they do the job for what I need the car. As I just said, I drove 8,000 kilometers. I go on the trip on the road and they help. And what else is inside? It's a Club Sport package. It's a carbon bucket seat. It's a fire extinguisher. It's a racing belt for both the driver and the co-driver. It's unavoidable smokers package because it gives you this nice door and a nice flap to close the whole console. And I mean, I can read you out if just to be specific.
If you want to I'll tell you what. If we can come back to some of that spec. There's another question from MG Drive. He's just basically saying, if you can't speak German, he's a German guy, just say the word in English and he can do some translation. And MG Drive, believe it or not, when I was 16, I was fluent in German. Wie komme ich am besten zum Bahnhof, bitte? Nehmen die erste Straße links und dann nehmen die zweite Straße rechts. I used to be really good at German, but I've forgotten it all now. So we've got someone that will help us with any German translations. And the next question, we've got this thing about someone just saying, those that have the carbon ceramic brake discs, maybe it's more about the looks as opposed to how the car drives. So being a race driver.
I mean, carbon ceramics are really good, and the braking performance at their optimum is, better than the steel ones. And it's about, like Carlos mentioned, it's about the weight, But the thing is, like, if you're putting the car to a spec of the performance that is better than the other car, my simple question is, where do you drive it? Where is that performance coming, I mean, for Carlos and I, it's easy. We go to a track day, we go to a racetrack, and then we see the boundaries of any car we drive, and we enjoy it, 24/7.
You know what?
But it's about people who telling you should have the PCCBs and who run like 30 seconds behind you in any car produced,
I've just put a couple of pictures of your car on track, because obviously, in case the viewers do not know, there's a picture of your car on a track day. So obviously, it's your own car, but you've got to know it and how it handles on the track. So you're not just using it on the road; you use it on track as well.
No, I'm using it everywhere. I mean, I got the car to use the car. It's so simple. It doesn't have to be a GT4 or I don't know, Bugatti Chiron or whatever. It's a car. You put the key in, you start the car, and you go somewhere where you want or need to go. And that's so simple.
Cool. I think we briefly touched upon this before we kind of went live. But so you obviously, that day that you were live on a track with your GT4, did you also drive like a Porsche 911 GT car? And which car did you get the better lap times on? You can tell us a bit more about that.
Between all the Porsches, I got the best time with my car.
So we're talking 911 GT3?
We're talking everything. Like we're talking 13 or more cars there. I mean, I'll not calculate like a Boxster, and there was what else? But no. But from my experience, is like I mean, I have depending on the track, I was on the track where my car made the best time, maybe because it's mine, so I don't care about insurance or damage, so I can flat it out as much as I want. But
so when you were driving, say, the 911 GT3 and then your car, can you explain? Do you remember at which points you were kind of making up the time? So I'm guessing, obviously, straight lines. The GT3 is just going to go crazy, But would you say that you would have a higher speed through the corners or coming out the corners in your car?
No, you need to be a very, for the GT3s, I mean, the 911s, you need to really feel the car. And it's not easy, okay? So, like, for example, the Carlos is driving in the Carrera Cup Germany, And it's all about, he knows, it's all about the feel. It's not about how crazy you are or how much adrenaline you have or how quick you are as a driver. When you go to a cup car, it's like you need to be calm. You need to learn a lot of laps to be able to understand how the car works. And same with the road cars. You can, need precise braking. You need precise exit, and the car is very quick. But with the GT4, you can be a complete idiot. You can just turn everything off. So if you're, if you know what you're doing, you can be really, really quick on a track day and on a but you can push it when no other car goes. Yeah. So that's my personal experience, with a 718 GT4, which I had. With my car, that was a first race track experience with a road 718 GT4.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Because normally, obviously, driving like the club sports and the sport packages.
No. I mean the race 718 GT4 that I drove on the track, but it's a race car. It's not not a road car. So the road car 718 GT4 was the first 718 GT4 I was on the track with. So yeah.
And I think I know the answer to this, but from your perspective as a professional race driver, okay, I think someone else did kind of. We had the question from Steve Rickman again, and he was kind of saying, why did you choose the 718 GT4 over the 981 GT4? If you could even option a new 981 GT4, what are your thoughts on this whole thing? Because obviously we all know from everyone that the aero's better on the 718 GT4 and so on. So in terms of like the difference between the 981 and 718, if you could purchase either one new, which would you still go for the 718?
Of course. It's a different universe. Yeah. It's a completely. It's like 50 times better car than a 918. But the thing is, like, for me, but maybe for you, you will not put that car where I put my car. On the racetrack, on the pace I do it, on the mountains, or especially, for example, in Luxembourg, we have like a 90 limit everywhere. So, even if you go 90, I mean, it's fast through some corners. So you can push the car a lot on the road and be still legal. Or you can go to Germany, which is like 5-6 minutes away from here, and you can go 300 if you want. You understand? And then when you push the car at those levels, 718, 918, we stop talk there, right there. We just stop because, we just stop there. So why would I take the used car, which I know nothing about? Why would I, or who owned it, how they drove it? Maybe it's like a 1,000 kilometers on the clock, but there is maybe half or 1.5 liter, of oil missing in the engine for the last 400 kilometers. I don't know this.
This makes me realise that the fact you bought your car new, are you looking to hold your car for like a long term, or you just don't know yet?
No, I have no idea. Yeah, okay. No. If you ask me right now, what's my emotion towards it, I keep it for 20 years. But if you ask me what will happen tomorrow, I really don't know.
So. I love the fact that, irrespective of that, you look after the car, because I think some people start off thinking, I'm only going to have the car for 2 or 3 years on finance. I'll treat it like rubbish. And it's someone else's problem when they buy the car from me. So.
Listen, I don't treat nothing. I just take to Porsche. So, like there is a user manual. You see everything. You figure out that in 5 minutes and say, okay, I need to do this to have a nice.
I think you've got more access car, than most of us, because you mentioned to me that you can take a 911 GT3. You can connect your laptop to the car and do all sorts of things. Yeah, so you probably get access to.
No, I mean on the race cars, but I never ever in my life would do that with a road car, even if I have the possibility to do such a thing. I mean, we use the computers and softwares for the race cars, of course, to set up the many things on it, like a display, what we want to see on the display, or what's the pit limiter or something like that, and to read the data. Back after the drive. I mean, that's what we do basically every stop on a racetrack. But regarding my car, whatever I know or whatever I feel or that can be something better, I just don't do. It's not you understand? I didn't build this car. I didn't put my life into this car, and I just respect what someone You go to Pinky and ask him like, oh, but it would be better if there is a ducktail here, I mean, come on, you would be in his shoes if that's the case. So it's pointless. Same as we have like exhaust questions and the sound questions. I mean, come on,
Yeah, no, I like it. You know what? I don't think we even covered the transmission. We got a question come in from Lee Crook. So basically, do you prefer the manual gearbox for your personal car over a PDK? And I guess what he's guessing is when you race, you're racing PDK.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, but obviously, for manual, you opted. Is there a reason why you went for the manual when you spend your whole life behind PDKs on track?
Yes, because I don't have an engineer in my ear. I'm not looking to die at every corner, so I can focus on driving my car finished.
Actually, a quick question from me, if I may. You sent me a video on the promo we did for this, where you were just changing gear, and I tell you, your shifts seemed so fast, like on the road.
That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing.
When you practice out how to switch, when you understand how it works, I mean, you can do it in a blitz of a second.
So in terms of clutch, like you just press the clutch and then you just lift off straight away.
Yeah. Okay. Like basically, the thing is, the 718 GT4 has like I don't want to complicate this right now, but it's a PDK. Okay, it's a PDK gearbox with a manual shifter. It has one axle S.
So you say you don't want to complicate this. As long as everyone here is going to allow this.
Yeah.
No,
it's not like your old manual gearbox where you understand, like an old manual gearbox that works like a manual gearbox, like with the forks and everything. So you can think about it as a PDK with a manual H pattern shifter. That's why you have the auto blip and everything else. You have all the sensors. So when you shift down, you have the auto blip and so on. So the gearbox, that gearbox is like a more advanced than the what you've seen in the past, like regular manual gearboxes where you need to, like find the gear, whatever, and you have this delay and so on, so on, so on.
That's fantastic. So if I've understood you correctly, the way in which the manual car can have auto blip is that it's effectively the same transmission as the PDK, but it's just allowing you to kind of engage the gears manually.
Let's call it some other PDK with a manual shifter. Yeah. But it's so advanced that when you feel these manual shifts, you can synchronize yourself with it so easily. So, for example, when I go somewhere to go crazy, and shift through all 6 gears everywhere, so it's like for me it's like a sequential, but I'm just doing it with a car. I'm not, like going from 4th to 5th. I just push it to 5th.
No, I love auto blip. I mean, I have to do it myself with my right foot.
Auto blip is excellent.
Auto blip is absolutely amazing. God, the questions keep coming in. So obviously you went for PDK. By the way, keep coming in the questions. This is what it's about. It's so easy for me to ask the questions, but I want this to be a bit more interactive with all of you guys because I want this to be more of a community experience. So Andy's coming with another one. And, I'm just going to read it out. Boris, have you had any opportunities or early insights into the forthcoming GT4 RS?
I'm not authorized to answer this question.
Oh my God!
So, who asked this? Andy.
Andy. So Andy's I've met him on a road trip in Wales. Great guy. He has a 981
Andy,
GT4.
Listen now. Yes. Yes.
Are you allowed to expand on that?
I mean, so let me hear the question. Boris, have you had any opportunities? What, please read me out because I
basically
can't see it.
Do you know what's coming up with the GT4 RS? Do you know anything about its handling character? I mean, I'm making up the question here, but
no. If you think, do I personally know something in? I mean, I know what's coming, but don't ask me to explain because I was not in such a vehicle. I did not sit in such a vehicle, drive this vehicle, and no, I don't know.
Okay. Actually,
I mean, I know about the car, but I mean, the car's coming. That's it. So.
Wow. Okay, you don't know when the car's coming, do you? Is it? Is it 2021 or is it? I mean, it should be.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Very soon.
Very soon. I tell you what, that would be very interesting because we were talking about. You drive the GT3s on track. You prefer the 718 GT4. I would like to know. Would the GT4 RS for you just be the most super craziest GT4 mid-engine car a professional racing driver could ever have because it's mid-engine, but it's got the power of a GT3, supposedly?
No.
We don't.
No, you have a Club Sport 718. That's quick.
Yeah, but that's not a road car. It's not a road car.
One extreme road. Oh no, you mean extreme road version, like a road version car?
The GT4 RS is
Oof, Jesus Christ! I think. Yeah, but it would be my third car. That would be my third car. So it would never be my first car or never second because, this car would be for purpose.
Gotcha.
We go there, we have a lot of fun, and that's it. We make a blast. Yeah.
Cool. You were talking about the manual gearbox, and apologies to Tim because I was supposed to come back to your question, I missed it. So he was kind of talking about the tall gearing in the 718 GT4 and the 981 GT4. He's basically saying, do you think people just over-talk it too much? There's not that much wrong with the gearing. What's your opinion?
Well, I don't know. Do these people own a GT4 718 or 981 or whatever? Okay. And they definitely never owned or drove a Lamborghini Diablo. We are talking about 300-kilometer-an-hour car with 5 gears, and the GT4 has 6. Okay, so you are comparing it to the Porsche. Porsche has 7 in most cases, where the PDK comes in, and you have even a manual 7-speed gearboxes, so on, so on, so on. So my question, yes, I mean they are just talking nonsense. And they have no idea what they're talking about. They never owned or drove the 718 GT4 or 918, and they just, or I'm sorry, maybe they have, but through some streets in the city. So, oh my God, my second gear goes 137 kilometers per hour. I'm sorry, dude. I mean, but I'm flatting out 4th gear and 5th gear on, even in a outside of the racetrack where it's allowed. So I'm sorry if you live in a place where you have like a 40-mile-an-hour limit or 50 or whatever, and you say, I cannot hear my car scream at 8,000 RPM in second gear because it's illegal. I mean, it's not my problem. You understand? This car has so much torque that, and same as I told to our friend Klaus, right? I told him, listen, it's so simple. I start with the first gear, then I switch to second gear. As soon as I reach 40 kilometers an hour, I switch to third gear. So as soon as I'm at 65 kilometers an hour, I switch to fourth gear, and I'm driving 70 kilometers an hour. As soon as I reach 60 miles an hour, or let's say 100, I'm in fifth. If I'm on the highway, I'm on sixth, on 60 miles an hour. And I can go all the way to 300, whatever, on the highway, and that's it. A car has a lot of torque. You can drive it on 2000 RPM if you want. Maybe you should not lug your engine so often, but you should just drive and have fun with the car. So someone says gearing is long. Gearing is long for you. I'm so sorry. You get scared when the third hits the 8 RPM.
Boris, you won't see the comments for a few
sorry.
seconds. No, there's a bit of a delay, but
yeah.
everybody's agreeing with you. So the guy that asked the question, he completely agrees. Short-lived, live it. Gears are not an issue. Use the car. We've got Nosh owns a 981 GT4, and he goes, it's lazy journalism and YouTubers that just talk about this nonsense. So
that's what I say, Max. We talk about cars, so every one of us should have 3 Chirons in our garage and a private jet, and your Bombardier is not so good. I have a Gulfstream, it's better.
There you go. No, I mean, this is what I like. I mean, the community here is a pretty down-to-earth, real community. So we're talking real cars here, and we are now officially saying on YouTube that the gearing is not an issue. And if you're saying it's an issue, do you really even own one of these cars?
I mean, come on. I took my car today for a wash, for example. It's 15 kilometers away from here because I have only 2 self-wash stations in the whole Luxembourg country, whatever. So I went there 15 kilometers. I was in all gears. Did I break the law? No. There is a 50 limit, and there is a 90 limit, and there is a 70 limit at 2 or 3 spaces there, spots, right? I was in all gears. I don't understand. If I go through a corner, I'm in second gear. If it's a hard corner, in second. If it's hairpin, and I go with second. But if I want to drive like an idiot, I go to first, and I just slam it out, to oversteer and to have some, fun on a public road, which is I don't know what for, right?
Yeah. So your friend Carlos is saying he's had enough of his race car. He wants an A380.
You want to say A380?
Yeah,
no, only 737 business BBJ business jet. I will pay half.
Actually, here's a random question for you, Boris. Have you ever flown in a private jet? So if you're a race driver, have you ever had the occasion where you've got to go to one circuit and then they've got to get you to a circuit somewhere else and they fly you in a jet or something?
Yes, I had the privilege of doing that, and it was really nice.
Okay, so the next time, Boris, you have to call me up, yeah? Okay.
I know.
This is cool. Believe it or not, Boris, so many people are agreeing with your views on the car, and I think that's what makes me feel so good about this channel, is that this is not like some silly YouTube channel where we just talk nonsense here. This is why we have people like you on this channel who you could probably beat the crap out of most people on the channel, apart from Carlos. I'm not sure which one of you is the fastest driver, but it's great to get this professional insight from people that put their cars to the limit. So I thank you for that, while I get the chance. I'm just thinking if we've got any...
Thank you in the community.
Oh, yeah. So there's some more questions that I've kind of missed here. So
just do it. Let's do it.
Keep prefixing your stuff with QQQ up there. So we had one from Zere, and he was kind of saying, how do your friends and family feel about the purchase of you buying the 718 GT4? So I'm not sure what he's trying to get at, whether it's why you bought that and not something else, but...
Well, I don't know. It's my car, so it's same as my bike, Why? Who cares, It's not their car, so I don't care what they think.
Cool. And then we got one from Tom Ingrassia, and he was just talking about the whole. So the gearing we've covered. So he was talking about suspension setup between the Cayman and the 911. So if I'm correct, the GT4 has got adjustable. Is it downforce, or are the dampers adjustable as well?
No, everything's adjustable. You can
Okay.
do the toes and the cambers and the heights and
So cool.
everything.
While you mentioned the cambers, since the car's been delivered to you in the UK, so I took my car to get the wheel geometry checked about a few months ago. A lot of people were saying to me, I've just bought a brand new car from Porsche, even the GT4, but I'm thinking of getting the geometry checked because apparently when it leaves the factory, it's not good or whatever. What do you think about the whole? Have you had your geometry checked?
No, I didn't have a check. I had set it up. I basically, they asked me like, what do you want? And then I said, okay, give me which tires do I get? And then because it's important which tires, and then I want to know the operational tires temperatures. So because you always fix your car on the pressure that as the tire is hot, right? That's what you want to do. So then I said, okay, what are the cold pressures? It was like 2.0 front, 2.3 on the back. I said, okay, what are the hot pressures optimal for this tire? Blah blah blah. There is a range there, but in my case it was 2.4 front, 2.7 on the back. Okay, so put the tires on that pressures, and then I want this toe. I want these heights. Blah blah blah. So they set up the car.
You because you're like a race driver, or if anyone purchases a 718 GT4, is this a standard process where they have the?
I don't know.
Well, anyone out there that's purchased a 718 GT4, if you can let me know if they ask you these.
Yeah, but for example, I'm very grateful to Porsche Center Luxembourg, because they surprised me in so many levels, I took the car to them to just change the oil when I ran in the engine, and I said, okay, drop the oil, drop the filter, put the new oil in, new filter, that's it. So I brought the car after I was driving through the rain and mud, and it was awful, right? Like the car was like almost gray. So I bring the gray car in. They brought me back the car and said like, okay, your car is finished. We changed the oil, la 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 la. Okay, here's the keys. So I went out and I'm like, what? So they I don't know what's the name of it. Like they didn't wash it. They polished every surface. It was for the car salon. Then I went out, of course, and 2 days after the rain comes. So I see all the rain is going away from my windshield and all the glasses and all the car. So they basically ceramic coated the car.
Wow.
So I'm like, what is going on?
I think we have to maybe think about the fact that you're no ordinary customer, so maybe you get some special treatment. By the way, Andy's just asked the question that I wanted to ask you. So this is your opinion only, okay? But on your car, Michelin or Pirelli, do you have a tire preference?
I have personally Michelin, because if I want to, the Pirelli is also perfect tire for that car. But the problem is if I want to get the Pirelli to the performance of Michelin, I need to go aggressive on the cambers and on the car setup. So which means that I'm pushing Pirellis like I'm racing all the time to get the performance of Michelin, which I can do with a less camber, less toes. So that means keep the tire more, aging better. And so I don't need to change my tires after 10,000 kilometers. I can do it maybe after 20, Yeah. So my preference is Michelin, because it's I'm not attacking the tire with my car setup and everything. I understand how it works. But Pirelli is more like Pirelli is more comfortable, to drive. But if you push to some borders, then you need to go a little bit more aggressive. But the regular person's GT4 would maybe be better, the best on some Continental or Dunlop, because if you drive a lot or going on the rain, on the Michelin doesn't work so good on the rain if you push the car as well as Pirelli. But for example, Continental and Dunlops can keep you safe on a 120, 130 kilometers an hour on the motorway. And you have a rain, you have a standing water, you will feel more comfortable with the car. But if you want performance, you go for Cup 2s or Pirellis.
It's very interesting what you said about how some people just think, oh, it's this tire or this tire, but you're saying that if you go for this tire, you change the camber and the toes and things, so you adjust accordingly.
it's what you push. I mean, what do you do? You know,
Yeah,
what do you do with it? My car is set up in a way where I can take 2,000 kilometers of highway and not destroying the tires, you know. And also I can go on a track and I have enough camber to control my car in a certain way. Can I go quicker? Of course, yes. I can put the tire pressures a little bit down. I can do a little bit more camber, and I can, you know, warm up the tires 1, 2, 3 laps because they are the road tires, so they need a little bit more laps, and then push to make some time on a track day, which I don't know why should I make some, you know,
that's cool.
Crazy time for track day so I can, you know, brag on Instagram.
Well, I'm just going to put a comment up for somebody because I'm not sure if this is a joke, but I'll put it up anyway. Someone
put everything. I'm answering everything.
So someone says, I don't know if they own a GT4, but he says, how can Boris say that it was something along the lines of if they think different to you, like let's say there's a GT4 owner that thinks the gearing is too long. What do you say to someone who owns a GT4 but thinks like the car has bad gearing?
I have the same way of thinking.
I'll put it up again.
I don't know. Anyway, if the GT4 has a too long gearing for you, that means you need to come with me and Carlos for some driving classes, my friend, and then you will see what's short and what's quick.
Cool. We got one.
No. For example, it was a good question. Why it was a good question? Because first of all, everything what I express. I'm not paid to express this emotion towards something, and I'm not paid to tell you what you need to do. I can advise you from my personal experience, and then you can tell me, okay, thank you, or you can tell me, oh no, I can do something else which I think is good. Because why? You're not driving my car, and I'm not driving your car. So, you understand? Yeah. If you feel comfortable with your car in this way, or if you don't like your car, because it has a too long gearing, you understand, there is always other cars who have short gearboxes, short gearing, then you maybe enjoy that more than a GT4. I mean, I don't know, maybe you enjoy a Renault Clio more, you know, or some Seats or VWs which crackles when you shift down in a tunnel and you get the bangs out of the exhaust. Maybe that's for you, you know. But well, that's a good question. But I'm saying I'm not confronting, and I'm not putting anyone in a position where I think they are wrong. Everyone has the right to be right for their own money, not for mine, and not in my car. Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, this is why you're here. We're asking for your opinions, and that's all it is. You know, this is not science here. So I want to quickly come on to I want to bring a comment before I go on to the question from Tim Green. So short life, live it. I thought exhaust was as an issue until I tracked the car. Noise is just right all day long, no headaches, and amazing. And he echoes kind of what I think. When I first got into the 718 GT4 outside, I thought it sounded quiet. Inside the car, it's really grown on me now. And where are you going to be when you drive the car? Inside, okay? And the cabin noise inside is amazing. So this comes on to a question from Tim Green, and he's like, do you have any plans to change the exhaust? Or, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I never had a plan. I will never have a plan, and so on, so on, so on. Why? Because first of all, I mean, the person who had both cars, he exactly knows that inside the car, I mean, it's amazing, right? Both cars are amazing, spot on. Nothing is louder than the other one, blah, blah, blah. It's a different sound spectrum. It's a different atmospheric sound. But on the outside, 981 is a bit louder, whatever. So we come again to the question, like who are you spending your money for? For girls to turn around, and say, oh, he's a cool guy, blah, blah, blah. He has a car which is loud. I mean, what? You understand? Like, what are you doing this for? On a racetrack, you cannot even hear it. You can put the open exhaust. The racetrack is so maybe you can hear it where the racetrack has like a audience stands close by to the track, so you hear this echo and you're like, oh wow. But that means you need to give your car to someone else needs to drive past, and you're like, oh yes, that's it. I mean, the only thing why I love this exhaust mods and everything, because it keeps businesses alive, and those businesses are owned by the people who are creative. They're engineers. They want to do something better, okay? So they want to make a modified exhaust to bring something new to the table. and that's why I appreciate it and love it so much.
Wow.
But will I do it? I will not do it because first of all, you lose the warranty of your car, which is, common sense says, why should I lose the warranty? If my engine is away, I just bring the car there, they give me the new engine, and I'm home. I don't spend 1 cent on it. So I don't want to, modify something that is made by a lot of engineers.
Yeah, well,
and
yeah.
who are very smart people. So
there's
I
a
just
guy
enjoy
here
it.
that put a comment here, and I'm not sure if he's the real guy, but so there's John Gaydos, who's actually from an exhaust company in the States, and he submitted a question, and he's like, "What bike do you have?" Because he owns a Cayman R, but he's a biker as well. He's got his own bike. So can you maybe quickly say what kind of bike you have?
Yeah, I have some bikes here and then, but then I tried the BMW GS 1250 in HP model, which is like a top of the line with the Akrapovic and everything else on it. So after that, there's no more bikes for me. Thank you. So yeah, it's a BMW 1250.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we have another question from Short Life Living, and I think he's got a 718 GT4 if I'm right. He's asking you, have you driven with Dunlop Race 2s on the car? Because he has Race 2s at the moment and he feels it understeers. What are your thoughts?
Check your tire pressures.
Okay.
So no. I did, and I just said these tires are good all-around tires for an owner who's using the car. You understand, like in a way where he travels, he goes from one town to another. There is a rain coming down, and he's just driving through this rain like nothing's going on. You cannot do that with the Cup 2 tires. With a Michelin's, you cannot do it, because if you hit a standing water, Max. Okay, let me tell you from my experience. I was driving a 250 kilometer road. I'm talking about the motorway most of the time, and I was there in 4.5 or 5 hours. So you understand, I was 70, 80 kilometers per hour on a motorway, because it was so much rain, so much standing water, and as soon as I hit it, I go sideways. So I was driving sideways. This 250 kilometer was so tiring, and I just stopped for a coffee. I mean, after that, I did
which tires were you running at this time?
These tires on this car.
The Dunlop.
Telling you right now, I was back in Istria, in Croatia, and I started in the morning to drive towards Slovenia. So I ended up in Ljubljana, which is like not far away. But there I was toasted. And from there, when I went to Austria, I drove all the way here to Luxembourg, which is like a 1,000 something kilometers more, 900, I don't know. But I was here in no time. It was so easy, because it was dry and German autobahns, so it was really quick and fast. But when you hit the rain with the Michelin Cup 2 tires, I mean, you need to really think what you're doing, With the Dunlops, I mean, it's more easy that you can be relaxed and not, kill yourself in 100 kilometers and like, oh my God, I cannot drive anymore. So they're good all-around tires, But listen, I mean, if you take your car even to a track with any tire, okay, I'm not sure you will be in a position so quickly to say I need a quicker tire. You understand? If you take your GT4 with a Dunlops or Continentals or Pirellis to a racetrack and you have so much fun and you're driving and you learn how to get the better time on the track, will you be in a position to say, oh, I need a Cup 2 Michelin tires? No, you just read that on a YouTube and saw the Nordschleife lap. It's a big difference, No.
That is cool. That is cool. So listen, keep bringing in your questions on the kind of comments stream here, because this is really for you guys here. It's not every day we get Boris, who's a professional race driver, and I have to say, Boris, I take my hat off to you. Very down to earth. Like if we had never met up through these social media and stuff, I would have always thought, oh, professional race driver, they would never talk in such an easy way, friendly way, in a very open way. It's amazing. I keep reminding myself that I'm a nobody in the UK and I get to speak for you, professional racing driver. I really thank you on behalf of the community. It's amazing.
Man, listen, everything what you do in life, you do with people. Yeah. Just remember that sentence. Everything you do in life, you do with people. You don't do it with money, you don't do it with businesses, you don't do it with buildings or you do it with people. Wherever you go, that's only people. Right? So I mean, there is time for everyone to be important, and there is time for everyone to feel important or whatever. But at the end of the day, Max, you and I, go to bed. I wake up in the morning, God bless us all and the whole community like that, and we, keep on grinding with our own things that we love in life. So,
well, quite a few people agree. I mean, Andy was the guy who has the 981 GT4. He was agreeing with you, so he's got the Cup 2s, and he says they're hard work when it rains. So,
yeah, it's not easy. Yeah.
There you go. So you know what? I can't remember if we've covered all the questions. We had some questions coming in around the whole the fuel thing. So I had a quick research on this myself because I didn't realise why this guy was asking the question. So in the olden days, I think a fuel used to be like 5% ethanol, but because we're getting more environmentally friendly, it's going to go up to 10% or something. So I mean, I checked the Porsche website and it just said. So the question for you was, what fuel do you use, and do you use fuel with ethanol? So in the UK, we all have like V-Power, Shell. I mean, do you have a particular brand of fuel?
So no, I mean I use 98 or 100 fuel octanes, and all of those have 5% ethanol. If you go with 95, which I don't do because the car says 98 minimum, right? So I do 98. And I do 100 when I hit some gas stations, and I even do 102.
So
I did 102.
Just so I'm clear, you're in Switzerland. You can buy 100.
No, I'm in Luxembourg. But you can buy in Luxembourg. You can buy in all Germany. 102. What else? Yeah, I think I don't know. Switzerland, Austria. I don't know. But yeah, here and in Germany you can buy 102. Yeah, because they don't have 100. That particular gas station has 95, 98, and 102.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, the other one has 98 and 100. Whatever you put, it has ethanol. So 5% or 10% you have it on your. And even if you open the what's the name, the door of the tank, it says E5, E10. Cool. So you're good with any fuel above 95. I mean, I think you're fine.
We got a nice one. I know we're kind of gone over the hour, so I know time's kind of a bit short. But as the questions keep coming in, I want to make sure we go through them all. Lee Crooks has just basically asked: is there any race circuit you don't look forward to racing at, as it's potentially more dangerous than others?
Don't look forward. No, I race anywhere, anytime.
Oh, really? Okay.
Anywhere. Trust me, in a mud if you want.
So, I mean, I recently I was lucky enough to get the new Xbox, and like when you play these race tracks on, the first corner is always like crazy. Like everyone just goes crazy. Like, as a professional race driver, do you think about the first and the second corner, like, I'm going to let these guys just go for it and I'm going to hold back? Or are you just like, I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to play like for real from first corner?
Well, I don't know. It all, either is planned. That's number one. Most of the time it's planned what you do, especially in endurance racing, where you just, back up of your ego and you do the planning and what we want to achieve as a team. And the second is that you need to be, aware 100% of the time and need to decide for yourself. But at the same time, you need to know what is the weight of the risk you're taking on your back. I mean, if you are at a sprint race, you're trying to find a gap, and that's it. You're just trying to find a gap and attack or back off. Depending on the driver, you need to know. You can even provoke. You can even, if you can provoke the mistake of other driver if you're patient. I mean, there is a lot of things you can do. I mean, like stupid things. I was running behind a guy on a race. I was P2, he was P1, and I was driving half a lap with the lights on and half a lap with the lights off. So he didn't know what car is behind him. Okay. And that's when the concentration dropped. Wow. At a few last laps, it was done. So, I mean, you can do these things which are legal, by the way. I mean, that's not banned. So, but you need to decide for yourself. If sprint racing, you go for a gap, you see, but also you always need to keep what's the risk, Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know we're kind of like going over the time thing. So just one very last question, because they keep coming in. Tim has been coming up with a question. So Tim, prize goes to you for asking the most questions. He's basically said, have you scraped your front splitter yet?
Sorry, he asked.
So you know, like the front splitter on the car is quite low. So have you scraped it yet since purchasing?
No, because when we set up the car, I asked to be a little bit above the Euro, how you say it, Euro speed bump.
Oh,
you know,
really?
so you have a measurement of the Euro speed bump, so you put it higher than that.
So are we talking about just the splitter or the suspension at the front?
No, we're talking about the whole setup of the car, the height of the car.
Okay, the whole height of the car. Okay.
Yeah, so we tried to set up the car. We took the measure of the Euro speed bump, which is a standard in European Union. How big is the speed bump? Then above that, what we can do with the setup. So I think they come down to the. I need to see the paper, so I don't know on top of my head. So, but let's say I'm 1-2 centimeters clear of the Euro speed bump.
Oh wow.
So that means that I can go basically, not on the curbs, but if it's a small curb or something, I can go through it. There is a way. You stop parallel, then you turn full, and then you climb up. Because on the on the Porsche, when you turn the wheel, the suspension even works on a standing car. Yeah. You can check that on your car.
Oh, whenever I see guys go with speed humps, you always go up.
So the question is, I did not scrape the splitter, but I'm planning anyway. If I'm to sell the car, I will just buy a new one and click it in anyway for the new customer if it comes, because I think like brakes, tires, all the hoses, everything needs to be prepared for the next guy if the car goes away. So not yet, but if I scrape it, it's not a big deal, because on 981 it's a very big deal. On the previous GT4, it's a very big deal, trust me. But on 718, it's not a big deal whatsoever.
Cool. Well, listen, Boris, I know we've taken up so much of your time, so I think if there's any more questions, now's the time to get them in. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of move on to part 2 of the end of this show. So I think we've had some comments coming in. I don't know if we're going to do any more of these shows, but it's thanks to Boris that we're doing this show, because obviously I had to get guests. If the guests come, we'll do these shows. So, Boris, is there anything else you'd like to share with the community before we can move on to the next part?
No, I mean, nothing to add. Just, this puppy is maybe nervous, wants to go out, so I need to take him out.
Okay, great. So if you want to stay on there, you can stay on there, or we can drop the camera. I'm going to try and do something a bit more live and spontaneous. So back in the UK when I was a child, we had this show called Noel Edmonds where they'd phone up people at random. So I thought, why not? I'm going to try and phone up someone.
No, do it.
In my address book, and we're just going to see if we can do something. Let's just see. I'm going to try and do this with a couple of people. Let's see, is this going to work? Let's try this. So
I go for a commercial break.
Okay, go. So once I get this next guy on screen, if he appears, then you can go for the break.
I'm going to try and phone up someone in my address book, and we're just going to see if we can do something.
So I'm hearing my voice echoing off your feed. So maybe you want to shut your audio down. We have got John Gaydos from Soul Performance. So, how are you doing, John?
Welcome.
It's been a weird year, but I really can't complain.
Hey, how you doing? So I thought, this is a reboot of the entire live stream series. So I'm just going to try to, I'm calling out everyone. We've done Boris. Thank you, Boris. And I thought, the best thing about my car this year was the Soul Performance exhaust. I've been running the exhaust. It's absolutely fantastic. Who better to show my appreciation to than you? So thank you so much, guys. It's a great exhaust.
My pleasure.
So how have you been doing? How's things been over there? Have you been able to get out and about? In fact, so Boris has just purchased a 718 GT4. I'm going to see if we can maybe get one more guy on this live stream. So Boris, are you staying on the live stream? Yeah, you cool.
No, I'm staying definitely. I just need to go to commercial break.
Okay, you go for commercial break. I'm going to try and get someone on.
I'm
John,
back in a minute.
Feel free to say hello to everybody that's out there. I think a lot of guys are like, oh, we've got a lot of people on today, so it's great to get through a lot of stuff in one day. So how's this year been for you, man? And how's the exhaust world been, I guess, on the 718 GT4?
Well, it's been a very, very interesting year. We had our own COVID struggles. We had to run a skeleton crew for about 4 months during the shutdown. But what was very interesting was during that time, orders more than doubled
across the product
Well,
line.
I know, because like I was so desperate to get my exhaust, and you were telling me there's a lot of orders ahead of yours that need to be done.
Absolutely. We have about 2,800 hours of fabrication scheduled right now. And it is, a real blessing. We're very fortunate to be in the position we are rather than the other way around,
Oh, good for you. Good for you guys. Yeah. So have you managed to get through the back order yet?
There's always going to be a lead time, and it's going to take a while to get stuff out the door, but we are back to full manpower. We've added another 3 full-time fabricators that are very experienced and skilled, and we're looking at doing a lot of stuff on the back end of the business to increase efficiencies in terms of, reducing the amount of labor that goes into each product, just, streamlining things as best we can, working with as many local community shops in order to, outsource key components, such as taking 2 180 bends and welding them together and into an X pipe. If we can get 100 of those done and save that manpower to concentrate our fabricators in the back to building product and have it done right around the corner, I mean, why not?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, some people, like we had Boris on earlier on as our race driver for a Q&A session, but you started getting questions already, John. So just to clarify, John is only on here for a few seconds. I got him on for a few minutes just to kind of be like a hoorah. Maybe we can try and do a live stream with him in the future, like coming up. But the question is, I know this guy, Julian. So this guy purchased the Cayman R this summer, and he's asking, do you still own your Cayman R?
Well, why don't I just hold on 1 second here? Let me see. Can I switch this video?
Oh, yeah. You should be able to. Yeah. You know what? Even if it doesn't work, we don't mind it. We're all friends here.
Hey, you see there?
Oh, yeah, man.
There you go. Still got the Cayman R. It is for sale on Renlist, though, if you know anyone that's interested in the States. So
there you go.
That's my pride and joy
it's
right
looking
here.
Shiny, man.
Yep. And speaking of Boris and riding his bike in today, I rode my, let me see if I can get that in there. There you go. I have a Triumph Speed Triple. So that's what I rode in today. And hell of a lot of fun, that. And a little, it's from your neck of the woods over in England.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed. Well, you know what? I'm going to see if I can get this one more guy in on the call. I'm doing this kind of like crazy. I'm doing everything that you shouldn't do live, but why not? And I can see Boris is back.
You only live once, right?
Exactly. So how's it? So can I ask you? So Boris has obviously got the 718 GT4. Have you actually got a product to market now for the 718 GT4?
Oh, we've got a bunch. Really? We've been concentrating on development on that platform for months now, and heck, if anyone's interested in following along on the development, I'm just going to post now in the comments section a link to our development thread, which is over 30 pages long, hundreds of comments, and a lot of educational material on the factory exhaust, what we've been doing, why we've been doing it this way. It's the car has a lot of low-hanging potential.
Well,
not just for sound, but performance improvement too out of the exhaust system. Now, depending on where you are in the world and your own subjective goals for sound, things are going to change a little bit on what would be recommended to meet those unique goals. So that's where you got to, either take some time, read through that development thread, the comments, the feedback that we've been providing on what it actually accomplishes, what different guys are running on their cars, and of course, reach out to us at any time. Of course, I'm always happy to chat cars and
Well, I'll tell you what, if you can post that the link to that on the comments of this video, that'll be great. So basically,
I sure did. I just did. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! So that's something that you're selling in the States right now. Is that right?
Indeed, yes, we are selling it in the States. We're even selling it over into Europe, but Europe has some unique mounting brackets and also monitored particulate filters. So we have to, work around that, which we can. It's just, more on a case-by-case basis. You actually have to switch to the North American mounting system
Okay.
in order to run our system, at least the rear setup on.
Well,
on
you
a
know
European
what?
car.
This will be. I know there's a bunch of people in the comments that own the 718 GT4. So what I'm thinking is maybe we can set up a. Let me know in the comments if you want to basically see John in a future upcoming video where we can talk a bit more about like the exhaust work they've done on the 718 GT4. You know, let us know in the comments. I'll see if we can try and make that happen. The other guy that I was going to try and cold call, I've tried him 4 times and he hasn't picked up yet. So I'm gonna have to send a note to him and go, where were you guys? I don't think he's got Skype live at the moment. So there you go.
And if I may, Max, Boris, I got to give you huge compliments, man. I've been following you for a while. You are a freaking.
Thank you, bro.
You're an awesome guy. Seriously, major kudos to what you've been doing, and especially after watching that race this morning and doing a little on Formula One. I mean, you put yourself out there. I've done some amateur racing myself and had my own incidents, but nothing like that. And man, it hit me right in the feels. I was happy to see Roman made it through okay, and you know I got to give my compliments where it's due to everyone that goes out and does that stuff. Man, you're pushing it hard.
Thank you so much. God bless you for these nice words.
You know, it's a
hope
fair
I will
point.
stay. I hope I will stay this way.
Look, because you know what? There are these people that make comments about race drivers, but they're sitting in their sofa, nice and warm and cozy, and they're going, "Oh, I could drive 2 seconds faster than you." These guys have their life on their line. It's not a video game, okay? So, you know.
Absolutely, for our enjoyment. I mean, man. I try to get out there on a track as much as I can. I had like 40 events planned this year, half of which went down the toilet. But I'm out there, just no one's watching me go around a racetrack. Who the heck wants to do that?
Well, I've seen you go around a skid pad.
I watch it more, so the rest of the guys go around.
Well, listen, mate.
Good fun.
Racing is racing. So if you're racing, it's not amateur. You're doing it. So you know, like
point.
Yeah.
Anyone who's racing in any form, it's racing. So,
you know, that's one thing I like about this community that we've got here is that no one is trying to be like the dominant male. You know, like we all respect each other for our own kind of like position. Like I was saying to John, like to be honest, I said to John, just because he's such a great guy and ambassador for his company, I like the guy, and I'm going to do business with people that I like. You know, if people are like going to just treat you badly or whatever, you just don't feel something for them. So, you know, I really feel like I got something for the Soul Performance products. And Boris, you know, you being a professional racing driver, like as a kid, I'd be always watching Formula One, always thinking, these guys must be superstars. They're not going to talk to normal people. The fact I get to speak to you is just, it's amazing. It still makes me have to pinch myself to make sure I'm still awake.
Well, I don't know. Everyone's different, you know. I mean, there is a lot of Formula One guys you can you know, meet for the first time and go out with them and become best friends, you know. But there's also guys who keep things. I mean, it's all about how much pressure the people have, you know, on them and how much they can take. So I think that's what creates them, is this unapproachable or whatever you want to call it, you know. I mean, I don't know. For me, everything is done with the people. I know people who, you understand, can buy countries from their back pocket, and I know people who are, you know, fighting their way through to have a decent life in a way. So, you know, you cannot like level out, you know, who's white, who's black, who's good, who's bad, who's whatever, you know. Take care of yourself and take care of the people that you do anything in life. Doesn't have to be business, you know.
Well, this is very cool. I'm going to try call one last time, because there's a guy that's running the 718 GT4 exhaust in the US, and I so wish I could get him on. But
if you get Dan on the phone, I'm going to be surprised.
He's not getting onto Skype. Like, I don't think he's got it. He hasn't got it launched or something. But what I'd like to do, if you guys got like, I'm quite interested to learn about what Soul have done for the 718 GT4 exhaust, and even like what your product lineup's been since we last spoke about. So if there's any questions for John, put them down in the live stream, put them on the comments. We'll try to basically go, oh, Julian is basically saying, have Soul worked on any of Jay Leno's cars? I'm not sure why he's asking that. But
That would be a treat, but no, not yet.
Okay, there you go. So maybe
let me make a call. Let me make a call.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thanks, Boris.
So you know what? It's almost descending into a bit of a free fall. So what I want to do, I want to quit while we're ahead. So John, thanks for taking this call towards the end. I'm going to see with these guys. Put lots of comments in. If we can basically get some comments on for John and Soul Performance, we'll try and maybe do a live stream with you like before the end of the year. But listen,
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Is there anything that you'd like to sort of say to everyone while you're here, John?
Oh, well, I'm just happy that everyone's here and watching this stuff. You know, it's always fun to set some time aside to just chat cars, man. And, you know, with all the shenanigans that are going on with, you know, politics in the world, health and all that stuff, it's just, man, this is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I didn't realize how much I missed these until I was setting the cameras up. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we're going on live. And I'm like, I haven't spoken cars with guys for quite a while, to be fair. So I missed this, you know.
Yeah, this is therapy for me, man. This is great. And then you got Boris on. I mean, I would have never expected to see Boris on. That is freaking fantastic, man. You've got a hell of a network, and I definitely enjoy coming on here and you know, watching, and then you know, as a bonus, I get to, you know, chat with you. This is great.
There we go. Well, we've got comments coming in already that they'd like to basically see you again, John, and have questions for you. So I want to try and call it an end here while we're ahead. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Boris, for coming on. And Pinky, I know you're not here anymore. We had Pinky Lai on at the beginning for the first 5 minutes. So this is just a bit of a mix it all up freestyle event. So I'm going to hand it over to you individually. John, would you like to say anything before I click the button and end it?
I think I'm good to go, man. But everybody, go out there, go for a drive, get a little therapy, and you know, positive mindset for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, for real. You should be in psychology. Boris, closing words to you, man.
I mean, the closing words are you should build up a little bit, you know. We should have like a 2 podcasts a week or something, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, like let's get some topics in, you know. Like I think these guys were kind of touching upon. If you guys can submit,
we are born as topics. John, we are born as topics.
There you go.
You just need to click the button, mate.
Yeah, we'll just talk cars all day.
Well, I tell you what, maybe I need to bring in like a bit of a panel thing. So like if I can get Dan, so Dan, I know you're not watching. You should be picking up your Skype. So he does, to be fair, I only have one thing that I think has genuinely been approved on my 987 Cayman, and the shifter cables. I'm not a big fan of the shifter cables because they snapped quite often. So this guy in the States basically made up his like aftermarket shifter cables, and like, you know, that I'd like to get that installed in my car one day, but he's not here. He's purchased a 718 GT4 and he's running John's exhaust. So I wish I could get Dan on here, but I'm calling him now. He's unavailable. Unfortunately, he's not there. You know what? We'll just have to do another live stream, guys. So I'll try and get something in everyone's calendar. We'll pen something together. If you're watching this and you'd like to basically take part in these live streams, let me know in the comments below. It's been great having you all here. John, Boris, thank you so much. It's been absolutely awesome. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead, and maybe we'll bring you another live Sunday lockdown live stream. Enjoying Life and Cars to the Max. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.